We are QOTD, and you are watching the QOTD Daily Recap Show. QOTD is the Question of the Day show, the game show that lets you be on the air, and you can join us on the air by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions.
Yes, and you can also join us by voting for your favorite answers to determine who makes it to the weekly Big Show Championship. That happens on Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, including tomorrow.
We're going to show you how to make it on the air with us for Thursday's Big Show. And we're also going to take a look at one of our favorite fan answers to today's question, which has to do with going back in time, not to change history, but just to kick back and watch it go down.
Love it. You know, speaking of going back in time, if you wanted to be the first person to answer that question and help you make it to the big show, you could actually click the subscribe button that's here on the screen, and that way you would get your QOTD each day kind of in your inbox.
If only I could go back in time and do that. I could have known at like 8 p.m. Eastern Time what today's question was.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I could go back in time. I wouldn't buy crypto or anything.
Let's go back in time and look at some of our QOTD top answers from this week. Starting with Friday's question, what's one skill you wish you learned when you were young? Kind of keeping with the historical theme.
Very much. So does the Saturday's question in sort of a weird way. If you were wishing who you were born to, that's kind of like going back in time. Congratulations to Aaron, Hector, and Brendan, who have the top answer so far this week to the question, if you were a celebrity kid and got to pick your parents, which celebrity parents would you choose to be your parents so that you could have their skills or their fame and fortune or somehow inherit their celebrity superpower? These are the best answers so far this week.
Nice. And speaking of parents and children, we have Sunday's question, which doesn't really go into the past so much as it might go into the, actually kind of does both. The question is, what is one thing your parents taught you that you'll pass down to your own kids? We have some really great answers. This was, of course, in honor of Mother's Day. And thinking on my end, I think my parents definitely taught me the importance of planning ahead because I'm currently living at home. You know, they want me to clue them in onto my plan so they can plan their own schedules. So it definitely is a very important lesson to learn.
Yeah, what are you having for lunch today, JJ?
That I don't know yet.
Yeah, see? You haven't learned that lesson fully.
Well, here are our top 3 answers for Monday's question, which was a fun one. What fashion trend from the past do you wish would come back? We heard a lot of answers. We're talking about champion sweatshirts and Heelys and those big clocks on thick chains.
Another time travel reference. Yes. Very useful.
I know there's so many. I'm personally a big fan of the big clock on my chest. That way I can always know what time it was. Look at it. We also have the top 3 answers to Tuesday's question, which I think is not so much about the time travel aspect, although if you follow what this question says, you might feel the effects of like something big like time traveling. It's, should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health? You know, it's a very big hot button issue today of doctors using this sort of treatment for mental health issues. So let us know your thoughts on it. Would you do it? And what are your general thoughts on doctors prescribing it?
I wonder whether Dr. Leary, my doctor, would prescribe something. I don't know.
It Timothy Leary?
Yeah, you use him too, I guess. Just kidding.
No, slight chance. I'm noticing like a historical kind of theme this weekend, rewriting your own personal history and then going to the future, I guess, and seeing how your history has impacted us. It's very cool, but why don't we get to today's QOTD?
Drumroll?
All right, yes, drumroll, always. If you could personally witness any moment in history, which one would it be?
Big question.
I know. It's like I've got all of history behind me. I think it would be cool to just follow along on like one of those early sea explorations. Like maybe all the way back even to the Viking times. Just see what they were up to.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have Google Maps either.
No, but maybe you could explain to us, you know, like what swashbuckling actually is. Like, how do you go about buckling on your swash? I don't know. I don't even know what that means. What is swashbuckling? But, you know, let us know.
You'll have to go back and get back.
It's a fashion trend from the past.
Buckle.
The swashbuckle.
Yeah. Well, we have our thoughts on this question and on swashbuckling, which is just as important. But before we get to that, we can also take a look at some of our fan answers because they are pouring in from across the world. And so what better time than now to look at one of our early favorites. So, receiving the distinct honor of top tier historian, we have VDS's answer. Let's take a watch.
So, if I could be a fly on the wall in any moment in history, the room that I would be in is a stadium, like the basketball stadium that they played the North Carolina Georgetown game, the one where Michael Jordan had his, game-winning shot. I would definitely love to be in that room, seeing all the vibes and everyone just going crazy when that shot just goes off, and just seeing that would probably make me cry. So, yeah.
Really? You got a time machine? And that's what you're gonna do? I mean, all respect to Michael Jordan, but come on. I would go all the way back in time and try to solve, or at least get the answer to some historical mystery, something that we don't know anything about. We would like to know the answer to the loaves and fishes thing. Did that really happen? Or the pyramids? How did the Egyptians build this thing? Was it aliens? Or did they actually have engineering skills that we just simply don't fully appreciate? We could learn so much. So if I had to choose one, I'm going to go back to pyramids. I want to know the answer to that historical mystery.
Very nerdy answer.
Thank you.
I like it. I'm sticking with VDS. I'm going to go party and celebrate. I loved her answer actually because we didn't get too many current history answers. I love that it's social, and I love that it has to do with entertainment. A lot of it had to do with sort of, nerd out history stuff. But I liked hers a lot. I'm going VDS.
Yeah, very shallow.
I'm going courtside.
Yes, thanks. Good job.
Wow, I can't believe that Trish just called all of our QOTD fans nerds.
No, just my colleagues. Oh my God.
Well, I think I'm also probably going to go a little bit with the recent history. I think I would love to go back and experience the sociological, anthropological gold mine that was Y2K, 1999, when everyone was worried about what would happen with the clocks once 2000 came. And maybe I could also run a little bit of a scam and take advantage, because I know that nothing's going to happen, but who knows? I think it would be just a very interesting period to live in for a little while.
Well, yeah, there was all that kind of end of millennium music, Prince, and also there were religious, there was stuff going on where people are hey, it's the end of time. I'm with you. I think that would be a super interesting moment in time. I actually still have the champagne glasses that say, welcome to 2000. I was there. I am your time machine.
Perfect. What could be better? Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. What could be better? I mean, it's also a new millennium, so that's very big. So just a rife period, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think we have our answers to this question, and they are all fantastic. Some a little nerdier than others. But we also have 5 other questions for this week that are also rife with potential for answers. And of course, fans are taking advantage and submitting many responses. And so I thought we could take a look at one of our favorites to Sunday's question, which is, what is one thing your parents taught you that you'll pass down to your kids? We're saving the honor of best facts from the folks. We have Jeremy BM's answer.
So one of the things that my parent taught me was cooking pasta, right? She'd get me right next to the boiling water. She'd say, okay, watch this. She'd take the spoon, take out a little piece of pasta, dunk it under some cold water, look at me, look at the wall, look at me, look at the wall, look at me, and just chuck it straight out there. Now, I'm always a clean freak. Seeing her do that was hilarious. But knowing that the noodle stuck and that, yeah, it's done now, I think that's something that I'll definitely teach my kids when I have kids. But yeah, perfect.
And now we have a generation that overcooks all their pasta because of that fun little trick.
You're right. But I love this answer so much because it wasn't just something that he learned. It's actually a tradition that he now wants to incorporate and do with his own kids. Great job. Well, fans, you've got one big day left to submit your own answers for your very own chance to appear on the Thursday Big Show. That's our super fun finale, hosted by Keith JJ Reed and I. It's where we go over the best of the best videos from the whole week. Every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and right here at beyondtheair.com.
Is to record your answer for that big show, you can go to beyondtheair.com and click the orange record button under the 24/7 live game stream. Remember, you can still answer today's question or any of this week's other questions to tell us what you think swashbuckling is, tell us what historical period you go back to, tell us what parental advice or traditions you want to carry on, and for your chance to join us on the air.
And while you're over there at beyondtheair.com, you can also play the Guess and Bid game. It's another way of getting on the air besides recording. What you do is you bid stars on the videos that you think are going to win, and then when they do win, you climb the leaderboard and you can show up on the air during our daily recap like Mary and Zach here.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and a special thank you to our subscribers and to everyone who's watched, voted, and recorded so far this week. We are QOTD and beyondtheair.com signing off, and we'll see you on TV.
Bye, everyone.
My advice to my kids would be to subscribe and
Yes.